You're watching Breakfast Central on News Central on a Monday morning, 28th day in the month of February 2022. Don't forget to follow us on all socials. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Of course, you can watch us live as well because we're streaming there. And you can react to the stories as well. Don't forget, we've got the WhatsApp number right there on the screen. Go ahead and send your reactions as we bring to you the top stories. But first, let's start off with the front pages as we begin from West Africa.
And we're starting in West Africa, Nigeria, with a look at the Punch this morning. The story making the front page here is all about the Russia-Ukraine war. That's one big major story. Fuel scarcity may persist. All vessels face delay on sea. That's on page 31. Tanker freight rate insurance premium climbed in 3 days. More vessels avoid Black Mediterranean seas over attacks. That's on page 31 from the Punch this morning. Now you can see this picture here. You can see the multitude of people. It says federal government directs fleeing Nigerians to head for Romania and Hungary. You can see the placards. Some of them have the saying "Stop War," some "Stop Russian aggression in Ukraine." That's what the placards are saying this morning. This picture is quite a sorry situation, but you can get more details from the front page and page 43 of the Punch this morning. Hoodlums invade Benue couple's burial, kill community leader, 8 mourners. That's on page 4. You can also see this story here on page 5. Ogun police arrest 5 suspected cultists over cops killing. That's on page 5. On page 43, PDP alleges fraud as APC wins 3 reps seat. That's also from the front page of the Punch. And the very last one from the Punch this morning is on page 8. VAT, that's value added tax, belongs to states, says LASG and SAN. Details of this and more from the Punch this morning.
All right, away from the Punch, let's go straight to the southern part of Africa. Let's talk about this paper coming from South Africa, the Sowetan. Well, we've been pushed, shoved, and denied access. That's the header. Page 4, 9, and 14 will give full details of this story. SA students lament bad treatment as they flee war in Ukraine. International Relations Department sets diplomacy wheels in motion for the rescue of SA youth and other Africans. That's what you find right there on the front page of Sowetan. We've been pushed, shoved, and denied access, it says. And on page 2, police ruined my life. A sad story of a taxi driver. You might want to read the story. Well, it's much more than police brutality. It's got to do with something that we'd say he will definitely remember and live with for a lifetime. Page 2 has got that story. Police ruined my life. You also have other interesting stories as well. Stories that you could also check out. Mayor in hot water over pub brawl. Mayor in hot water over pub brawl. You wonder what a mayor was doing at a pub. Page 8, you get that story as well. Homeowner speaks after bloodbath. Page 6 has got that story, the Hill gun fight. And the last one, which has got to do with sports, how Don saw off Pizzo. That's a story there as well. Don't forget the top. You can see the picture there. Of course, the biggest story happening across the globe. We're talking about the news concerning the invasion. This one says Nigerian citizens Victoria and her daughter. You can see her in the picture there at the top. Looks a bit small though, but if you could actually get the copy, you'll find that story very interesting. Nigerian citizens Victoria and her daughter Elvira arrived by bus to a supermarket parking lot from the Polish-Ukrainian border, crossing into Poland at the weekend. More than 30,000 people have crossed the border into Poland from Ukraine, even as we speak now. So that's all we have for you from the front page of the Sowetan.
The papers are giving different reactions to the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. But let's head on to the Citizen in Tanzania this morning. Now, still looking at the Russian-Ukraine social economic implication. You have this story here. Horticulturists worry of Russia-Ukraine conflict. That's what it says here. We're keeping a close eye on the conflict between Russia and Ukraine because exports may stop if the war escalates. That's what it's saying. Of course, we know how the impact of this on all other neighboring countries and even countries outside of Europe and in Africa. It's clearly affecting the African continent, but you can get more details of that story. Horticulturists worry of Russia-Ukraine conflict from the Citizen this morning. Tanzania bags 17.3 trillion shilling deals at Expo Dubai. It comes out to say here that Tanzania public and private institutions have signed 36 MOUs valued at $7.49 billion with their United Arab Emirates counterparts at Expo Dubai 2022. That's a good one, though. You can get that story from page 2 from The Citizen this morning. You can also see another story from page 2. Plane registered in Tanzania crashes off the Comoros. That's a sad one. It talks about the plane and what happened to the 14 people on board. This story just came out on Saturday. It's a sad situation, but you can get more story from page 2 of The Citizen this morning. You can see this picture here, still looking at the horticulture industry in Tanzania. $779 million. That was the projected earnings for farmers and the wider economy. But right now, it seems that amount of money most likely may come out far lesser than what has been projected. But there's more story from The Citizen. And the last one on page 3, Kikwete, embrace technology to grow rural farming. Well, that's a good one. More from The Citizen in Tanzania.
All right, let's take a last lap this morning, and that's got to do with the newspaper Daily Trust from Nigeria. At the top there, it says Nigerians to pay more for bread as Russia-Ukraine war rages. How does that affect the wheat and flour? We do know that wheat and flour, the consumption, of course, is most done in the northern African parts like Egypt, Tunisia. But anyway, find out. Don't just assume. Just go ahead and read. You see how this will be key to you. 25 killed as ISWAP attacks 4 villages in Borno. That's another sad story, sad incidents that we woke up to this morning as well. How new bill plans radical changes for power sector. What is that bill all about? Well, you could also read 2023 anxieties Atiku, Tinubu, other aspirants, no fate, June 3. Will comply with timetable, APC, PDP, others say. Initiative laudable, but early start will help the process. CDD mentions NAS, Buhari's delays cause of frenzy, and NMPP scribe says. Well, let's leave all that. Take a look at the picture at the front page there. You see, treat Nigerians, other Africans with dignity. Federal government tells Ukraine and Poland. You can see Nigerians there. A lot of them just trying to find their way out. It's a rather tough situation, we'll agree. Nigerians are stranded in Poland and Ukraine border, and you can see them in that picture. Some are even going as far as sleeping on the cold floor just to ensure that they can actually cross over. Remember that the temperatures are not anyway friendly. It's snowing right about now. It's cold. So how they must survive, that's a big question. Those who have their babies and so on, quite terrible. Well, that's all that will do for the papers for this morning.